Hello loves, Sonia here, and I am making a simmer pot with this really cool like pre-packaged bag that I got from the Quirky Lotus. So I already have some water that's going in here. It's been going about like 25-30 minutes in that on simmer. I started it out with like some cinnamon sugar, and I also put in some like dried strawberries for like fertility and sweetness and that to kind of get that water prepped. So with this simmer pot, it comes with so many great ingredients in here to like really help attract like prosperity, to kind of sweeten up things. So I'm actually going to start with, there's these pine needles in here. And pine is like really good for like purification. It has like this very cleansing like aroma and that comes from it, like the fragrance bits and that. Okay, so let me tell you what's in this simmer pot bag that I got. It comes with pine needles for like purification, also to help attract like abundance and wealth, prosperity. It has cinnamon, pineapples, apricots, cherries, raisins, peaches, and faux tie root. So what's great about this combination is this is really sweetening. There's a lot of different elements, especially with the different dried fruit, that not only do they like smell amazing and release something like very magical into the air of your home, but a lot of them are related to like fertility, like attracting like abundance in this very like soft, nurturing way. They've been used, throughout centuries with different like goddess energy, like Venus, Aphrodite, Freya, things of that nature. So I'm kind of, as I do this, I'm putting certain things in at a certain time to kind of layer it how I want. Let's see. Boop, more pine. Pop. All right, I'm leaving the cinnamon out because I want to kind of use that at the end. I like to kind of get my hands on it. I'm actually going to take the pineapple out because I feel like that's something that I want to add towards the end. It just has a feeling of needing to be layered a little different. So this is some of like the beautiful fruit. I don't know if you can kind of see it. The water's hot. Yeah, I'm going to kind of slow down so that one of the good things about a simmer pot is that you can really take your time as you add the ingredients and like build the layers almost like you do like a good recipe in that, because as it does, it allows like the release of those magical properties, and it just infuses the water, infuses the air around you, like purifies your home and your space to really uplift things and like infuse your environment with your different intentions. My intentions for this one, with the additions and that I'm making, I'm calling this my simmer down prosperity pot. So very helpful to kind of to calm down a little bit of the like exuberant fiery energy and that of like new creative passions and visions, and that to allow a little bit more of a tempered sweetness, so that there's like that nurturance and longevity that's bringing in prosperity, abundance, and helping different manifestations come into fruition. This is looking so pretty, guys. I don't know if you can see it from there. I'll make sure to get some different photos and pictures and that along the way. All right, so as you do your simmer pot, the water is going to kind of like boil off. And so you'll just continue to like nurture the container by adding more in as you go. So for mine today, I have a vial that I have saved from the Cancer full moon. Some moon water that I did then. It has a little bit, I had added some essential oils and fragrance oil in with it, as well as a little bit of prosperity oil. Oh, that's so good. So it's going to be perfect in the simmer pot. Okay, yeah, when I added the water, it stopped simmering. I'm like, let me make sure that the fire's still on, but it is. It was just science. But anyhow, what I love about the water from this full moon is during the time that this was left out, there was something called an occlusion with Mars. And that is when Mars actually went behind and was almost like eclipsed by the moon. And especially being in such a like nurturing feminine energy of Cancer, what that allowed is this almost like a tempering of like the Mars like aggressive energy and like competitive energy, and it allowed it to like balance with that more emotional, watery, like nurturing element of Cancer. So this is going to be like a great addition to this, because this is really a simmer pot that's all about like almost this balanced combination of like masculine and feminine components, and that to really allow like passion, drive, and determination to be able to like have that long haul, to be able to persevere without burning out, so that it can be kind of like sustained and carried through into fruition. Yeah, that's nice. So like I mentioned, I'm going to put the pineapple in towards the end. I'm going to save some of this to continue to add as we go, and I'm going to continue to stir this, and I will check back in with you guys. All right, so as the simmer pot is like returning to like a slow boil or simmer, I'm actually going to prepare something else that we're going to put in here. And the great thing, if you get one of these kits, it is like perfect as is, but it offers a lot of opportunity for you to be able to add your own like magic and creativity into it to really build upon your personal intentions. So I have some different bay leaves that are here, and I chose smaller ones because I don't want that masculine energy to overpower this more like sensitive, nurturing pot, but I definitely want that energy within there. So I am actually, like, bay leaves are great for like purification and manifestation, drawing in abundance and wealth. I might have to get my other honey. Hold on. I am going to drizzle the bay leaves in that with honey. I've already put some magic and intention in the bit, but I'm going to kind of sweeten it up. Yeah, that was a lot of honey. And that, go ahead and like rub that in on the other side. Yes, that looks so cool. It might be harder to see in the video, but this excites me. All right, and then I'm gonna take some red rose in that, and I have some that's already like pre-crushed, but there's something about like being able to crush it up in your hands, and I'm actually going to crush it up and then sprinkle it into this honey on the bay leaves. Yeah, and that's just gonna add a little something when it's at that point that we're ready to put it in our simmer pot. And as you do these, you'll kind of like find that you know when it's time to like build a new layer. Again, I kind of equate it to like making like an all day like delicious dinner, and that like you don't just start out in the beginning putting like all the seasonings in at once. It's like you allow it to prepare and season, and you know, you breathe it in, you take a taste, and you see what it needs, and like really trust your intuition. Yes. All right, I'm gonna pause because this requires a little bit of hand washing. Aww. All right, so our simmer pot's still going good. We're gonna do a few more little things that we can add to our simmer pot later. So as I've felt into it, I've recognized I don't want to put the pineapple directly in there. The pineapple, it is like almost all of the fruits involved in this like have that some properties to attract like abundance, beauty, wealth, longevity. But with the pineapple, there's also like feels like there's this additional layer of like hospitality, and almost like gives me like that citrusy feel of like the that like brightness, sunshine, and uplift. But it feels like if I put it directly in the pot, that it is going to almost like drown out its influence. So I have some very, very hot water here. I don't know if you can tell. I mean, it's not smoking or anything, but so I'm gonna actually put it into the water, and I'm gonna allow it to sit in here. And then when it's time to add some more water, I'll add this. I'm also gonna add in some rosemary, and that rosemary is really good for like purification, and that like a uplifting, and it smells so good too. Yeah. So, and I'll continue to kind of like tend to this too when I go to put that into the simmer pot, I will strain out, I might not try to strain out the rosemary, but I won't actually put the fruit bits in there. It's more like I want to get that like essence that's been like really like into the water. I'm sure that there's a word for it other than, but that felt appropriate. So the other thing that we're gonna do, I have some star anise that I'm gonna add in there, and there's a feeling of needing to like burn it and ignite it a little bit. Almost, I guess I'm gonna like roasty toasty like it's a marshmallow, but, and I'll be honest, I can't tell you exactly why it needs this or why I'm doing, that's nice. Sometimes it's just about trusting your intuition and having fun with it as you go. Yeah. Then we're just gonna as I blew on that, I just give it a little bit of that presence and intention. And I think I'm gonna actually drop this in while it's still smoking. I think that'll add a little something. Oh, did you hear that sizzle? I have another one. I'm gonna have to do that again. BRB. Hello again. So I had just added some more water, not our pineapple sunshine water, and that, like, I feel like that's to come later, but it was needing some more, so it's kind of like slowed down on the simmering again and that. But look at how beautiful this is. Like, whoop. You saw nothing. Like, it's so like gorgeous. Just the fruit, like there's little bits of cherry in there. I added the star anise. I also added a little bit of allspice in there. Like, I enjoy how like allspice has that energy of like, there's a word for it I can't think of. Like, almost all of these are like, you know, they attract like that sense of like fortune and wealth and that. But there's something about allspice too that is like almost like attracts like courage and like determination and like helps to strengthen willpower, but in this very like grounded way. And that, I think what's really nice with all of these too is it's really helping to like stabilize things within the physical realm. So a lot of times when we're manifesting in that, like, it starts with like a vision. You know, we have these different ideas and that, and they come to us and we start building on it, and we work on, you know, changing our mindsets and like really infusing our emotional selves to get in resonance with what we want. This is like crushed rose leaves and that, but that's it reminds me of parsley. But, you know, it can take a little bit to really like cement things or stabilize things like in our body and in our physical environment. So this is really helping to balance out the things that we are bringing in to allow it to have like a better stability and support. I'm also going to put some more rose petals in here. Like, kind of like they say, you know, we eat with our eyes. Like, I feel like magic is the same way. Like, beauty and that is such a, like, a beautiful component. That might have been redundant, to magic. Like, there's something very powerful in that, and I just want to see it. I just want to see it all up in there a little bit more. You can see it too, can't you? Let me try not to spill it. Yeah. So if you're not familiar, you can actually like use almost all parts of like flowers and different elements in that, and they hold a little bit of different energy. Oh yeah, I went like heavy on these. Oh yeah, that's so good. I didn't know I was gonna do that, but I'm so glad I did. But the cool thing with having like rose leaves is leaves on a flower actually take in the sunlight and help. I gotta pause this, hold on real quick. Okay, so you may not be aware, but you can actually use like all the different parts of like a flower or different plants in that, and they all contain like the same kind of essences, but some of the parts almost like have increased specialties in a certain area. Like, if you think of like a person's body, like you know, it's all the vessel, but you're gonna have different properties if you're, you know, like cutting off a finger and using it versus, you know, like a nose or an eyeball. That might be a little bit of a like gruesome analogy, but anywho. So what I love about using the leaves of a flower is like leaves actually, like, you know, they reach out and they are what takes in the sunlight and that, and like that process of like photosynthesis and that. So it's almost like they have this very concentrated like light energy that like ends up providing like nutrients and sustenance like through the whole flower. And so it has like those properties of the rose, but it also has this very like life-giving infusion in that, like it's almost what like like not so much sparks, but like that creates and like helps to like sustain, support, and like deeply nourish and feed, you know, the plant, the flower. So yes, I think we're almost done here in that. Like, I know this has been a long video, but I'm really grateful if you've stuck with me because I've had a blast. I have a few more layers that I'm going to be doing in that I will check in with you on. The bay leaf pieces, like, I feel like that's going to come kind of towards the end. I'm going to let this simmer for a while and continue to tend to it. I did save, like I mentioned, a few of the ingredients to kind of sprinkle in as we go, but right now it feels like it's in this very good space to like just, oh my god, that's so good, to like infuse the air, infuse the home, infuse the body with the like the nutrients that it needs. As I was making this, it almost makes me think of like the temperance card in tarot for some reason, like something about like balancing all these different elements and that, and like this almost like a water bear energy of being able to like hold and like, you know, support different elements within a like a balanced atmosphere, but also to draw in like wisdom, inspiration, and that in this very like gentle way, but also almost like feminine scholarly. I don't know if that makes absolutely any sense to anybody but me, but yeah, energetically I'm enjoying it. So I will see you back probably for just one more like ... part. All right, loves, I'm about to bid you adieu for the evening. So this is the beautiful simmer pot as of right now, right? Yes, so gorgeous. I don't know how well I have the camera aimed. So I've decided that I'm going to add the sunshine water like at the very end. Like, I'm gonna let the simmer pot go for another hour or two, slowly add in the last bits of the different fruit pieces and that. But there's a feeling of right at the end, as I turn off the water, is when I will add in those bay leaves that we covered in honey and rose and that, and kind of put those wishes in and let, as the heat cools off, it almost like cool off that sweetness and that into this mix. And then as this water reaches right before it has cooled, I will mix in that sunshine water with the pineapple. And I find a very unique energy in it. Like the fruits in that are in the simmer pot, oftentimes we associate more with like eating that like cold, delicious, like juicy peaches, or you know, like the juicy cold cherries and that. And typically like a sunshine feeling or whatever, like because the pineapple water is giving me this very like citrine vibe too, like the energy coming off of it. I also put a cinnamon stick in there, but that water is cool, whereas normally we would associate that with being a little bit warmer. But there's something about that the polarity switch and then them coming together that is really helping to like integrate and balance these energies. And I definitely have felt how this has uplifted the space in my home. Like just the scent and the aroma itself is like just, it almost is like regenerative, that word that I did not say correctly. But it feels very restorative to my spirit too. Like it feels like it's really infused my body, my mind, with a lot of like this, gentleness, almost a little bit more clarity and direction in that, a little bit of more clear-mindedness in that. So let me know, what would you add into your own simmer pot? Like what kind of intentions would you infuse? What and how would you mix it up for yourself? Because I'd love to hear about yours, and I welcome any feedback on this. This has kind of been the first go at sharing something of this sort, and I had an amazing time. I hope you did too. come visit us at the Quirky Lotus. Get you one of these because they are amazing and fun. Bye.